What is up, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in. This video was filmed exclusively for odds.com. If you missed the podcast, please click the link below. Check out the full video over at odds.com. Make sure you smash that like button, and good luck on all your action. Thank you so much for the support and have a wonderful week. Let's roll. Next up, we do not have Cody Stamann taking on Andre Ewell. Unfortunately, Andre Ewell had a positive COVID test. He did test twice negatively, but for whatever reason, they did not clear him for this fight. He is in the COVID protocol. The fight is scrapped. Cody Stamann supposedly is still on this card. They're looking for a short notice replacement for him. I am not hopeful that he's going to get a fight here because Cody Stamann is the worst guy in the division for you to make a short notice fill-in for. He's incredibly hard to look good against. He is such a dominant, good, solid wrestler on a full training camp. There are very few people that can step into this fight on short notice and either look good or win. So you're going to take somebody who's desperate, somebody off the regional scene, something like that, and then Cody's going to be a -1,000 favorite if they get anybody willing to step up in there. So unfortunate. This was my round 3 sprinkle. I was sprinkling Cody Stamann round 3 because Andre Ewell gasses out every single fight. He's really solid in round 1. He slows down badly in round 2. In round 3, he's a shell of himself. And especially against a guy like Cody Stamann, who's a nasty grappler, I think that Andre Ewell would essentially just gas out and give something up in the 3rd round. I think a late TKO or submission was totally on the table. I mean, smart money was Cody Stamann by decision, but at the same time, I love those little sprinkles and the value on those round 3 spots when you get a fighter who's known to slow down or gas out. So that was my angle. I fully expected Cody Stamann to win that fight. Unfortunate. We'll see who gets the fill in. Hopefully we get that fight because Cody Stamann's on a bit of a heater right now. Would love to see him. He dropped his last fight, but he fought very, very well against Jimmy Rivera. I do want to let you guys know that part of the reason I'm looking to back Cody right now is listening to his interviews, his mindset. He took that fight against Jimmy Rivera and he kind of half-assed it. He talked about how he didn't treat it like a full fight. He didn't take a full training camp for it. He thought, you know what? I'm still kind of in shape from my last fight. I've still basically got what I need to have. I'll turn around quick and I'll fight this guy. And that was an extremely competitive fight. He fought very, very well and very, very closely with Jimmy Rivera when he didn't take it seriously, when he didn't have a full training camp. So this time he came in guns blazing, geared up, ready to go, full tilt for Andre Ewell. And I think Cody was out for blood for this fight. So that's definitely a spot that I was willing to call a bet on. And it's definitely a guy that I will look to back if he gets a short notice fill-in. TK saying that Cody Stamann has a padded record, potentially, but I'm not big on Ewell. I'm not impressed with Ewell personally. I think he's strong in round 1 and then fades after that, so I don't like Ewell. I didn't like the line, which is why I was just sprinkling round 3 instead of betting Cody Stamann or putting him in a parlay or something like that. Money Webby asking my new favorite sprinkle. You know, we talked about it just a little bit earlier. I might be sprinkling the round 3 prop for Diego Fajea. There was one other that I was kind of looking at. Sungwoo Choi. I might be sprinkling the round 3 or the knockout prop for Sungwoo Choi. Those are kind of my long shots here for this card. There's not a lot of betting opportunities here for this card, unfortunately. It's a bit of a bummer because I look forward to these things. You know, I always like having a bunch of options. I always like having, some action to get us through the entire night. But this is a very, very tough card. I want to caution everybody. This card is extremely tight. It's extremely close. You're going to see some people that do well and make some cash, and they're going to flaunt that out on the internet. But the truth is, there's not a lot of really solid betting opportunities. The majority of the fights on this card are going to need to be a pass from a smart perspective, simply because these fights could go either way. They're lined closely for a reason, and the stylistic matchups are really, really tough for a lot of these fighters. So just be careful. There's a lot of landmines on this card. And Cole, Cody actually did cancel on me. It's unfortunate. Me and him are going to sync up at a later date, so don't y'all worry if you tuned in to catch Cody on the show here with me. He had something come up personally, so because of that, he had to call off. But we will reschedule that and get him on the show a little bit later. He should be with my man, Manpreet, Lock of the Night, later on this week, talking props like they always do. So don't worry, Cody is around and he's fine. Just a little bit of a scheduling issue for the two of us.